I've got a big dilemma this game week. Do I buy Salah? And if I do, should I sell Haaland? We'll start by building from the back. Of course, I'm starting Pickford against West Ham away. That's not too bad of a fixture. Obviously, it could be easy, but it's not difficult like Turner's fixture against Liverpool away. If you watch my recent team selection videos, you'll know that I'm not wildcarding, and I don't think it's worth spending a free transfer on that goalkeeper position. Yeah, I'll save 0.2 mil to get Areola, but I don't think it's worth it. To be fair, right up until the game week 19 wildcard, this goalkeeper rotation only has one difficult fixture. That occurs next game week where I've either got to play Pickford against Brighton at home or Turner against Villa at home. At least I've got the home advantage and it could be worse. Moving on to defence, I've got Trippier against Wolves away. He's been outstanding since I brought him in and this is another decent fixture. He does eat a big chunk of my budget and it does mean that I've got a forward that I don't really want, but of course that money is keeping the points ticking over, so far he's worth it. Next up is Tsimikas against Forest at home. I was lucky to get a clean sheet last game week because he got subbed off around the 60-minute mark and it locked the clean sheet in. Yeah, they didn't concede after that, but it was really dancing with death when it could have been 59 minutes or less. Either way, it was a good free transfer. Hopefully makes it to at least 60 minutes this game week and gets a clean sheet. Lastly, in my starting defence is Cash against Luton at home. That's another easy fixture. I do fancy Villa to get a clean sheet there, and with it being Cash, he's got plenty of attacking potential as well. It does mean that I've had to bench a defender that's not got an easy fixture or much attacking potential. That's Diaz against United away in the Manchester derby. It's important not to forget that he does still play for the best defence in the league, so he's not too bad as the first defender on the bench. That's of course if he's not a victim of Pep Roulette. Then next game week he's got Bournemouth at home. After that, he's got more difficult fixtures. I might consider selling him. Depends what position I'm in. My other two players on the bench are Asula and Baldock from Sheffield United. They've got a difficult fixture against Arsenal away, and I don't think that'll matter anyway because they're both still flagged in the game, and I'm sick of saying that every game week. So it looks like Diaz is my only outfield insurance on the bench yet again. In midfield, I've got the United double up, Rashford and Bruno. They've got a difficult fixture against City at home, and they've been very underwhelming so far this season, especially Rashford, also considering that he does cost more as well. If I do decide to buy Salah and captain him, Rashford will obviously be the player to make way. If I don't decide to buy Salah, Saka against Sheffield United at home will be my captain this game week. Either way, I believe Salah's the best captain this game week. That's because he's guaranteed penalty duties. Obviously, Saka's got the easier fixture, and if he was guaranteed penalty duties, I don't think there'd be much between them, but he does seem to give penalty duties away quite a lot to the likes of Odegaard and Havertz recently as well. Whether I buy Salah and keep Haaland, buy Salah and sell Haaland, or keep Haaland and avoid Salah, there's always going to be some form of a sacrifice. If I own one over the other, then the problem is that I've got to find an alternative captain pick when the other player is the optimal captain, and it does flip between them in the upcoming game weeks, despite Haaland having difficult fixtures. And even if I own both of them, that'll mean that I have a player in my team that I don't really want who's dirt cheap. Penultimately in midfield is Son against Palace away. Now he's performing well recently, he's playing out of position, and he's the talisman at Spurs, so he should be on penalty duties. Now the problem is, if I want to fund Salah and keep Haaland as well for the rotation in captaincy, that would mean that Son would have to make way for a player that's below average, but it's still better than a player that I'd get for someone like Bruno. So all things considered, I don't want to go replacing Son with someone like Palmer, so I don't think I'm going to go double premium. Lastly in midfield is Mbeumo against Chelsea away. That's not an easy fixture from an attacking perspective, but at least he's got West Ham at home next game week. But then he's got two difficult fixtures after that, and I might consider selling him, and it will probably be for Bowen, who's got a decent fixture swing. Up front, I've got Haaland against United away. That's not an easy fixture, and I'm not going to captain him this game week. I am strongly considering selling him as part of a double free transfer for Salah, and I will discuss who for shortly. My last player is Morris against Villa away. I really don't want him in my team, but I'm finding it difficult to get rid of him. I am considering a -4 for Lyle Foster. He's £500,000 cheaper, so it gives me more money for my team. It means that he's more likely to get more points per million, and then Burnley have also got much better fixtures up until that game week 19 wildcard than Luton. That would be a free transfer if I'm keeping Haaland. However, if I'm going to bring Salah in as part of a double transfer, that would just be an additional -4 in isolation. If I do decide to go for Salah over Haaland, then I'll sell Rashford for Salah and Haaland for Watkins, who has an easy run of fixtures for the next 5, starting with Luton this game week. If I could directly choose between the two combinations, of course I'd go for Salah and Watkins, but that does include a -4, which I do need to apply to the other combination. I'll be honest, I'm split 50-50 on which route to take because of captaincy rotation and the -4 factored in. If I do decide to keep Haaland, I'll probably switch Morris to Foster, get that extra $500,000 in the bank, then plan on bringing Salah in for game week 14, where I'll captain him that game week, then in game week 15 as well. Hopefully I can roll a free transfer up until that point, so I save the -4. I hope you found this video informative. If you did, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already.